Praise Allah.
Please mute your phones. Wow. All rise. Face the east. 5 fingers on the left, 2 fingers on the right. Recite the Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
Through his holy prophet.
Through his holy prophet.
Through Ali.
Through Ali.
Amen.
Amen.
You may have a seat. First, I rise and give praises to the great God Allah, who is the author, creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. He is the causeless cause and the rootless root for which all things are wrong. To the one who is supreme, most wise and beneficent, to him alone belongs worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. Let us say, praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
I give honors to the illustrious prophet, Noble Jew Ali, the last prophet in these days, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, 1913 AD, savior of humanity. I give honors to all true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, etc. Prophet Noble Jew Ali said, have a deeper appreciation for womanhood. I give honors to our forerunner, Marcus Messiah Garvey, for paving the way, who said progress is the attraction that moves humanity. I give honors to all past supreme grand advisors and moderators of the Moorish Science Temple of America in concession, Brother C. Kirkman Bey, Brother F. Nelson Bey, and Brother J. Blakely Bey. I give honors to the past Grand Sheikh and moderator, Brother Allah Il, may Allah please. I give honors to the present Grand Sheikh and moderator, Brother R. Jones Bey, and his assistant, Brother P. Chase Ill. I give honors to the Grand National Chairman, Sister S. Russell Dunbar Bey, and her assistant, Brother B. Bell Bey. I give honors to the Grand Governor of the State of New York, Brother C. Herb Bey, and his assistant, Brother K. Richardson. I give honors to our Grand Sheikh and Temple number 34, Brother Y. Cyrus Hill, and his assistant, Brother W. Clendenin Bey. I give honors to Sister Cecile Zill, Sister our Brother El Serrano Bey, who are our ministers. I give honors to our Mufti, Brother C. T. Berry Bey. I give honors to the chairman, Brother C. Ferguson, who's not here with us today, but he senses Islam. Who's also the Grand Governor of the State of Connecticut. Honors to our Assistant Secretary, Sister C. B. Reeves Bey. I give honors to all officials, national, state, and local, present, past, and future. I give honors to our 2 flags, the American flag and the Moorish flag, which represents the 5 highest principles known to man: love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I give honors to our charter with its great mysteries of the world, 10 mysteries, that we may practice and promote Islamism in America without molestation. I give honors to all the literature and the remedies that the prophet has brought for uplift and fallen humanity. I give honors to all the Zoom attendees. I give honors to each and every one of you. I give honors to man, because when man honors man, he honors his father God, Allah. Islam?
Islam.
I'll now take a read from the laws. Salvation, our God, unity. The Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. Act 1. The Grand Sheikh and the Chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce law with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The Assistant Grand Sheikh is to assist the Grand Sheikh in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the Circle 7 in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on the Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on the Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended into his Father God Allah. For that cause, Friday is a holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister or any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the law of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to for the law or constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779. And lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim the free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and the southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of all humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Ali, with the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Ali founder, Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet, Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America, Home Office, 2905 5th Street, Southeast Washington, D.C., 20032. Thus I've read Act 7 acts from the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. I'll now read the Great Meeting is on. Are there any questions for Moorish Americans? Page 7. Questionnaires and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Ali. Act 1. Grand chiefs and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses, each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Ali. Before acting upon any member, let it be financed property or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restrictions, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Chief. Act 2. All members are to attend their adept meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50% on the first case. And on the second, he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If members is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift the nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me in saving the nation, and if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people in justice and statute. Let it be he or she according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so. because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their pre-national name to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Mother Juali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and the southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a partial of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep around with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds filled with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Mother Ali, the guidance of his father, God Allah. As I read the 7 additional acts from the Quran question for Moorish Americans, I'll now take a read from the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Ali, by the guidance of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from the sinful and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life of his father God Allah. I'm going to take a read from chapter. I'll start from instruction 6. Chapter 2, education of Mary and Elizabeth in Zoan, Egypt. Now Mary and Elizabeth were marveling much because of their deliverance. He who said, "It is not strange, there are no happiness. Law governed all events. From olden times it was ordained that you should be with us in this sacred school be taught." Edithus and Salome took Mary and Elizabeth out to the sacred grove nearby where they were going to teach. Edithus said to Mary and Elizabeth, "You may esteem yourself thrice blessed, for you are chosen mothers of long promised sons, who are ordained to lay a solid rock, a sure foundation stone, on which the temple of a perfect man shall rest, a temple that shall never be destroyed. We measure time by cycle ages, and then the gate to every age we deem a milestone in the journey of the race. An age had passed. The gate unto another age flies open at the age touch of time. This is the preparation age of soul, the kingdom of Emmanuel, of Allah and man. And these, your sons, will be the first to tell the news and teach the gospel of goodwill to men and peace on earth. The mighty work is theirs, for carnal men want not the light, they love the dark. And when the light shines in the dark, they comprehend it not. We call these sons revealers of the light, but they must have the light before they can receive the light. And you must teach your sons and set their souls on fire with love and holy zeal, and make them conscious of their missions to the sons of men. Teach them that Allah and man are one, but through carnal thoughts and words and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself. Teach that the holy breath will make them one again, restoring harmony and peace, that naught can make them one but love, that Allah so loved the world that he has clothed his son in flesh that man could comprehend. The only savior of the world is love, and Jesus, son of Mary, comes to manifest that love to men. Now love cannot be manifest until its way has been prepared, and naught can rend a rock and bring down lofty hill and fill the valleys up, and thus prepare the way. But purity and life men do not comprehend, and so it too must come in flesh. And you, Elizabeth, are blessed because yours is purity made flesh, and he shall pave the way for love. This age will comprehend but little of the works of purity and love, but not a word is lost. For in the book of Allah, remembrance and registry is made of every thought, word, and deed. And when the world is ready to receive, lo, Allah will send a messenger to open the book and copy from its sacred pages all the messages of purity and love. Then every man of earth will read the words of life in language of his native land, and men will see the light, walk in the light, and be the light, and when again will be at one with Allah. Praise Allah. Our meeting, Moorish Science Temple of America, is temple number 34, subordinate temple number 34 is officially opening according to proclamation throughout its laws. We'd like to thank to our holy day meeting. Welcome. I read from that chapter because I had a friend who gave me a call today. She said she wasn't feeling too well and asked me to send a prayer out. And I immediately thought about Elizabeth and Mary, the bond that they had and the worry and concerns. And if we keep that thought of putting a prayer, a divine thought out for our sisters and our brothers, always, each and every day, as much as you can, make it a part of your life, people can receive that energy. Because we are thoughts of Allah and we are spirit. And we can heal by just a divine thought going on. Just a divine thought. If we raise our vibrations and stay on high, we can heal the world. See, we live in the fulfilling of the prophet, the time of the fulfilling of the prophecies. And so if we understand the significance of that particular line, let me say, because I'm paraphrasing. It says the end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. When you see, and that's on chapter 48, that's page 59, the end of time and the fulfilling of the prophecies. My uncle was just sharing, he said, we got this variant thing going on now. And he said something that rung bells to me. He said that Allah said, y'all don't want to take me serious, I'm going to end you up. Because we need to go within ourselves and really find out the divinity that's in our hearts and be sincere with it. Because every thought, word, and deed is seen by Allah, no matter if you think you're alone. You can think it, you can say it to yourself, but Allah hears your thoughts. Make sure they're on right. Make sure it's healing your sister and brother. Start with yourself. I know that's not easy sometimes because we have a whole lot, especially as sisters. We cook, we clean, we take care of, our children. We worry about the day-to-day things that we have to take care for ourselves as women, which you will not even comprehend. I'm not even going to. But at the same time, I want us to understand that we're living in the times. That's a serious statement. There's prophecies that are being fulfilled. People are sick and dying. For the COVID, that particular demonstration, we call it flu on steroids. It's a serious demonstration. So be mindful to pray for your sisters and brothers. Take your vitamin C, take care of yourself, because when you take care of yourself, you're taking care of your community. You're taking care of your sisters and brothers because they are following your lead. You're leaving your footprints clearly cut for all to see that you are walking in a certain way. So send out a divine thought to all your families and friends and sisters and brothers that may not even know. Islam, that's all it is. So I now call on our first speaker, Brother Grantchie. I'm calling you first.
No, that's B. That's B.
Oh, B, sorry. These are last. Islam. I'll call on our first speaker of the evening, Brother B. Cyrus Hill, at the song.
Can't thank him enough, can't serve him enough, can't lift him up too high, glad to see. You don't know how good Allah's been to me. He didn't have to wake me this morning, but he did. Oh, yes, he did. He didn't have to give me my child, but he did. Oh, yes, he did. Can't thank him enough.
Can't serve him enough.
Up too high for
man to see. You don't know how good Allah
to me. He didn't have to show me love, but he did. Oh, yes, he did. He didn't have to tell me the truth, but he did. Oh, yes, he did. Can't thank him enough. Can't serve him enough. Can't lift him up too high. Want men to see. You don't know how good it's been to me. You don't know how good it's been to me. You don't know how good it's been to me.
Islam.
Islam.
I rise to give praise to Allah and honor to His Prophet and everything that pertains to Islam. Peace. So today I'm going to read from page 35, chapter 25.
Right now.
A holy covenant of the Asiatic nation. 1. Ye are the children of one father, provided for by his care, and the breast of one mother hath given you suck. Let the bonds of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, that peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house. And when ye separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity, and prefer not a stranger before thine own blood. If thy brother is in adversity, assist him. If thy sister is in trouble, forsake her not. So shall the fortunes of the world contribute to the support
So
of
shall
his.
the fortunes of
So shall the fortunes of thy father contribute to the support of his whole race, and his care be continued to you all, and your love to each other.
Islam.
In society today, we've seen a lot of things that have happened, not only to humans in society, but also nature, like natural disasters, and also this pandemic. And seeing people come together to help each other, it's just like the chapter saying, because everyone is basically trying to make sure that everyone is okay, or because during the pandemic there was a lot of lives that were lost, and people were feeling down. So for everybody just to make sure that their loved ones and friends are feeling okay, that's like the chapter. Making sure that everyone is well supporting your other brother that he's down, so you're making sure that he's okay. And
Praise Allah.
Islam, Mo, Islam, brother man.
Always, yeah, don't change, no mountains in Morocco, always, yeah, don't change. Who's that coming down the street in white? It must be the people called the Moabites. You know the mountains in Morocco, always, yeah, don't change. Always, yeah, don't change. Always, yeah, don't change. You know the mountains in Morocco, always, yeah, don't change. Who's that coming down the street in red? It looks like the people that the prophet fled.
We know the Muslims in Morocco are holy.
Always, yeah, don't change.
Islam.
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 Praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Thank you, Brother Eastside. It's always an honor to hear.
Islam.
Our dear brother read from chapter 25, the Holy Covenant of the Asiatic Nation. And he also gave us words on what's going on in the world. So this is a pledge, it's a contract. That brotherhood.
Right.
We learning to step into that.
Right.
We don't beat each other up. We learn. We're gonna make mistakes. As long as you know, you have to correct it. Get a speedy reparation. So praise Allah for sharing the Holy Covenant. Dear brother Blaze, your word. I'm now calling our second speaker of the evening, Brother Jade Jordan Hill.
Sister.
Sister.
Islam.
Sister.
We're marching.
We're marching into Mecca, that beautiful
city of love. Now we're marching into Mecca, that beautiful city of love. Now if you want to know where we're bound, that beautiful city of love, into the holy city, Moabites define. that beautiful city of love. Now we're marching into Mecca, that beautiful city of love. Now we're marching into Mecca, that beautiful city of love. If you don't have a pure heart, then you will regret that beautiful city of love. You won't make it into Mecca, cause the angels protected that beautiful city of love. Now we're marching into Mecca, that beautiful city of love. Now we're marching into Mecca, that beautiful city of love. It's where physical parliament was first formed. That beautiful city of love. At the east gate, the cherubim with the flaming sword. That beautiful city of love. Now we're marching into Mecca, that beautiful city of love. Now we're marching into Mecca, that beautiful city of love. Islam. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. I'm gonna rise and give praise to the great God of the universe, Allah. I'm gonna give honors to all true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius, the last prophet in these days and times, Prophet Moses Barawi. I want to give honors to all the sheep and sheepesses and all of our guests, our members and our guests. Especially give a high honor to my husband, brother R. Jornil. That's Brother R. Jornil, praise Allah, and to my family who are here. It feels really good to be here in person. This has been a long time coming. Praise Allah. I see familiar faces and faces in person. First time meeting, I'm excited. So praise Allah.
Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. Okay. I have, it's been an interesting week, and believe it or not, I have been thinking a lot about perfect practice. And specifically a quote that I heard that just keeps resonating with me. And he said, the life of the nation is secure only while the nation is honest, truthful, and virtuous. It's really what we're doing. We're nation building.
That's right.
And praise Allah for this week. We got the opportunity to travel as a group and together with for the children and take them on an adventure.
Praise Allah.
A real adventure, I say, because one day I told my children I was taking them on an adventure, and I was we had business to take care of. So this is a real adventure, and they had a wonderful time.
Praise Allah.
So I just wanted to again give honors and to our Grand Sheikh for that opportunity, because our children had an amazing time. I will say I struggled because I knew my husband had to work, and I was taking 3 children to for an adventure. So I was very, very nervous, and I'm very grateful that we were all there together. And as Sister Berry just mentioned about sisterhood, you know, there's truth to it, because when we got together, we all seemed to just jump into gear to get what we needed to, do what we needed to do. So I want to take a read today from page 42. It's chapter 35, Holy Instructions from the Prophet, Religion. Okay, I'm going to say page 42, chapter 35, Holy Instructions from the Prophet, Religion. There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, almighty, eternal, and incomprehensible. The sun is not Allah, though his noblest image. He enlighteneth the world with his brightness, his warmth giveth life to the products of the earth. Admire him as the creature, the instrument of Allah, but worship him not. To the one who is supreme, most wise, and beneficent, and to him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. Who hath stretched forth the heavens with his hand? Who hath described with his finger the course of the stars? Who setteth bounds to the ocean that it cannot pass, and saith unto the stormy winds, be still? Who shaketh the earth, and the nations tremble? Who dareth his lightning, and the wicked are dismayed? Who calleth forth worlds by the words of his mouth? Who smiteth with his arm, and they sink into nothing? O reverence the majesty of the omnipotent, and tempt not his anger, lest thou be destroyed. The providence of Allah is ever all his works. He ruleth and directeth with infinite wisdom. He hath instituted laws for the government of the world. He hath wonderfully varied them in all beings, and each by his nature conformeth to his will. In the depth of his mind he revolveth all knowledge. The secrets of futurity lie open before him. The thoughts of thy heart are naked to his view. He knoweth thy determination before they are made. With respect to his prescience, there is nothing contingent. With respect to his providence, there is nothing accidental. Wonderful he is in all his ways, his counsels are inscrutable. The manner of his knowledge transcendeth thy conception. Pay therefore to his wisdom all honor and veneration, and bow down thyself in humble and submissive obedience to his supreme discretion. The Father is gracious and beneficent. He hath created the world in mercy and love. His creatures of his hand declareth his goodness, and their enjoyment speak of his praise. He clothed them with beauty. He supporteth them with food. He preserveth them with pleasure from generation to generation. If we lift up our eyes to the heavens, his glory shineth forth. If we cast them down on the earth, it is full of his goodness. The hills and the valleys rejoice and sing. Fields, rivers, and woods resound his praise. But thee he hath distinguished with peculiar favor and exalted thy station above all creatures. He hath endued thee with reason to maintain thy dominion. He hath fitted thee with language to improve thy society, and exalted thy mind with the powers of meditation to contemplate and adore his inimitable perfections. And in the laws he hath ordained as the rule of life, so kindly hath he united thy duty to thy nature, that obedience to his precepts is happiness to thyself.
Praise Allah.
Oh, praise his goodness with songs of thanksgiving, and meditate in silence on the wonders of his love. Let thy heart overflow with gratitude and acknowledgement. Let the language of thy lips speak praise and adoration. Let the actions of thy life show thy love to his law. Allah is just and righteous, and will judge the earth with equity and truth. Hath he established his laws in goodness and mercy, and shall he not punish the transgressors thereof? Oh, think not, bold men, because thy punishment is delayed, that the arm of Allah is weakened. Neither flatter thyself with hopes that he winketh at thy doings. His eye pierceth the secrets of every heart, and he remembereth them forever. He respecteth not the persons or the stations of men, the high and the low, the rich and the poor, the wise and the ignorant. When the soul has shaken off the cumbrous shackles of this mortal life, shall equally receive from the sentence of just and everlasting retribution according to their works. Then shall the wicked tremble and be afraid, but the heart of the righteous shall rejoice in his judgments. O fear Allah, therefore, all the days of thy life, and walk in the paths which he hath opened before thee. Let prudence admonish thee, let temperance restrain, let justice guide thy hand, benevolence warm thy heart, and gratitude to heaven inspire thee with devotion. These shall give thee happiness in thy present state, and bring to the mansions of eternal felicity in the paradise of Allah. This is the true economy of human life.
Islam.
There's a lot there. a whole lot.
Mhm.
And there are many parts of this that really stick out for me, but our whole purpose in coming to the Moorish Science Temple is that we came here for a reason. Whether we came here for something for ourselves, something to better our family, maybe we wanted to better our condition, something going on in our life that we wanted to see how we could improve that. And we came here. We took time tonight to come, and we came for a reason. The temple has always been a place for us that has always given off a high vibration. It's a place where thankfully we were obligated right here. Praise Allah. And it will always hold that wonderful day, praise Allah, that wonderful moment of unity for my husband and I, and that we will never forget.
Praise Allah.
The best part about it is something that Allah had already foreseen and known, because as we know, He already knows the future. It says right here, in the depth of His mind, He revolveth all knowledge, the secrets of futurity lie open before Him.
Praise Allah.
Prior to coming to the Moorish Science Temple of America, we were a part of the Moorish American National Republic, and we would come every Sunday to temple down the block and around the corner. We did not know, or I did not know, or of this.
Mhm.
This is a gift. Temple 34 is a gift. This is an amazing place where my family has grown, where my family has learned, and where even it, in a way, if you can imagine it, it's sort of the lessons and the teachings and the style of teaching that we've gotten here has improved our teachings of the teachings we give to our children at home, and has changed our interpretation of more science, the Quran, and our understanding overall. Because if we start here, and this indeed is our foundation, and our understanding of this foundation is sinking in, and it's going to be a part of every part, then it affects everything outside. It affects our lifestyle, our family, our friends, our job, everything we do. And so this is the hard part. The hard part is where we allow Allah to work, where we let go of plans and thoughts, we let go of ideas or these precepts in our mind, or things that have been made up and told us that we're supposed to be. We let go of these dreamt up ideas of what Moorish Americans are supposed to be doing, and we start focusing on what Allah has called us to do, and do the work that the Prophet has asked us to do.
Islam.
Again, I want to say, let's remember why we came and why we're here. We came to uplift fallen humanity, and at the end of the day, if you have not done so, the Prophet also has laid out a way and said, if this is not for you, you know what to do. You can turn in your fez and your turban, your pin, your card, buttons,
Return to the state.
and return to the state from which
Found
the
you.
Prophet found you. Then stand aside and let the work be done.
Praise
If
Allah.
you want to do the work, let's get the work done.
Do it.
I praise Allah for synchronicity.
Praise
And
Allah.
in that, it's amazing how we were able to get things done and how we can work together and the power in it together as a family.
Wow.
As a family unit, we talk to our children all the time, and I'm going to take it to our children's level just to keep them interested, that the temple first is your body. Your body is your first temple.
Right.
We need to keep it clean. We
Teach.
have to make sure that we look right. We have to take interest in how we look when we leave the house. These are things we're teaching our children, and we have children, all of them are under 10. So we got to teach them about grooming, and you sure you look right. Is your shirt right? What's going on? We take time to teach these lessons so that they can understand it, and that we want them to know when they're not with us, that we can trust that they're doing what they were taught, that the foundation that we laid is there, and we don't have to worry, because that's what they build from. That's where we're going. So the temple's teachings that have infused into us, into our views, how we've learned, how we've understood, how we read and interpret, down to our demonstrations, are also infusing into our children. Why? Because we want to practice what we preach. We want to show and truly demonstrate
that part.
what we're doing. And for our children, hands-on. We want hands-on teaching, and we want to show that. And so for us to come together as a family and to be together was to show them that there were other children just like them. And there are beautiful children. I want to thank I get a high note, okay, of honor and praise to Allah. Because I, for the first time in a long time, I saw children who knew who they were, and it was a group of them. And they were not ashamed, they were not afraid, and it makes you really think, why on earth am I afraid to put on my turban and go to the store? And I was like that in the beginning. I didn't know how to wrap a turban, and my husband has plenty of pictures that he uses to make jokes about. And I'm telling you, there was a challenge, I believe, a turban challenge I went on where you post the turbans. No, I can't post none of my turbans. But praise Allah, this is very day who was good. She told me it will come in time, and as you unfold, my God unfolds, the turban, it will all work itself out. And so with that, I'm saying 35, I'm listening to it. Trust that Allah has got you. Worry about nothing. Stay on the path that He has laid out for you.
That's right.
Walk and understand the laws, practice the laws, but understand that you gotta let it go and have faith that the path is the plan. The path is the plan. The path is the plan. Don't diverge. Don't get off that course because you don't really see the results.
Come on.
I'm going to tell you, when you go to grad school, it's difficult. It is grueling. It is hard. You go to law school, and they'll tell you in the beginning, they will tell you it's going to be really rough. I got called on the first day of law school, the first one. Everyone was mortified. But you know what? I planted my feet, I gave my response, and I did well in a room of strangers.
Wow.
Sometimes you have to step out on belief, do what you know, and let Allah do the work.
Praise Allah.
We all have a job to do, we all have work to do, but we have to understand that we have to have reverence for Allah, we have to trust and understand that this here is our purpose, that the temple is here. We've got to do the work to keep the temple going. And so I want to thank everyone who has done that work through this whole time. To all of my Zoom family, I see you, because I'm usually on Zoom. I see you, and so I want to give honors also. I did not do that before. I want to give honors to the Harmony Bay, who worked so hard to keep the Zoom going, and that for that I am grateful.
Praise Allah.
And so I'm gonna close, or I'm gonna leave with this one thought. As Moorish Americans, it is not an easy task. It's not an easy task.
Come on.
But it's a call. If you answer the call, do the work. Otherwise, do what you know what to do. And if you're not sure what to do, you can always ask. But you can just leave your fast, turning your turban, and if you stand out of the way. Why is this important? I can list speaker after speaker after speaker, and as I think about it, and the nation we have to build, it is not going to be easy. We are working hard at homeschooling, at creating a larger avenue for our children that we did not have. Many of us are in here trying to create something for our children that we did not have. And so if we stick to the path, if we do what we are called to do, when we set the examples, if you see the beauty in these children, it will just blow your mind.
Come on.
That bus were natives filled with nation builders personified. And proud of they were not hesitant to say they were Moorish American. They were proud of who they were, proud of their names, and they had no hesitancy. When they were together, it was powerful. And I sat back and I was amazed because that fuels us. That tells us we've got work to do. That we've got children that need us to keep going.
Wow.
With that, I say,
Praise Allah.
I want to do like Allah say do. I want to do like Allah say do. And if I do like Allah say do, I know that everything is gonna be alright. I want to teach like Allah say teach. I want to teach. I want to teach like Allah said teach. And if I teach like a lost teach, I know that everything is gonna be alright. I wanna love like a lost love. I wanna love. I wanna love like a lost love. And if I love like a lost love, I know that everything is gonna be alright. I know that everything is gonna be alright. I know that everything is gonna be alright. Islam?
Islam.
Praise Allah. Praise
Praise
Allah. I
Allah.
want to thank our sister J. Jordan Ill for her reading and her words. She read from the holy instruction from the holy prophet religion.
Whoa.
See, this is a navigator. And one thing about this, this movement, this divine national movement, gonna show you who you are. When you come up in these sacred roads, and you ain't living the life, it's seen. It's something that stood out with sister when the sister was demonstrating. She said, "All beings." See, no man is left behind in this demonstration, not one. So I want to give honors to the sister because this chapter right here talks about the unity of man as well. If you go to chapter 36, that's what it says. Know thyself. And know thyself and Allah is in the front of this Quran. So she demonstrated the unity and the Moorish American pride or the Moorish pride of our children. But that means all of our children, all beings, none is left behind. Not one, because of our own thoughts and what we think is right. It's Allah who guides the destiny of this divine national movement. So praise Allah, your sister, for your words and your read. I'll now call in the next speaker, Brother C. Cole Ill.
That's right.
After a song.
We on the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. He brought us our religion, our flag and grace. The prophet came to put us on the main line. He connected us back to the human race. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line, the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line, the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. He came with love and holy zeal. The prophet came to put us on the main line. And he opened up the book of the seven seals. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line, the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line, the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. He came and broke the Roman seal. The prophet came to put us on the main line. He gave us back our free names, Bay and Nail. Islam. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line, the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line, the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. Allah, Allah, the great supreme. Prophet came to put us on the main line. Praise Allah, we have been redeemed. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line, the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line. We on the main line, the main line. The prophet came to put us on the main line.
Islam,
Islam.
to the one who's supreme, most wise and beneficent. To him alone belongs worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise. His name is Allah. I give honors to his prophet, Noble Ali, founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America, and founder of me. I give honors to Brother Marcus Garvey, the forerunner of the prophet Noble Ali, as John the Baptist was to Jesus about 2,000 years ago. I give honors to both flags, the American flag that embraced us in our infancy, the Moorish flag with the 5-pointed green star in the center, about descendant nature. I give honors to our charter, which gives us the right to promote and practice all teachings by all true and divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, Confucius, Zoroaster, the father, good and evil, Melchizedek, who was not born and did not die, the house that prophet Noble Ali is the lineage of. Man, I give honors in succession to Colonel C. Kirkland Bay, Brother F. Nelson Bay, and Brother J. Blakely Bay, and Brother R. Love Gill. Give honors to our present Grand Sheik and moderator, Brother R. Jones Bay, who is doing an outstanding job in these times of uncertainty, because they are surely uncertain times. But the only thing that is certain, Allah knows best. Regardless of what we may think, Allah knows best. You know, I give honors to the Sister Auxiliary, the Young Moorish National League. I give honors to the members of this temple and the brothers and sisters that spoke before me, which is always an inspiration. You know, that's why the prophets say go 2, 3, 5, and 7, because the unity of the thoughts of love is not in the intimacy of things, but in the essence of the connection to unfold. You see, because a lot of people take love as just from an intimate point of view. That is just the outer shell of it. It's not a gift or a gadget. The love is the discipline and the sacrifice that you may give to each other. That's why the prophet said, try to live close together. He ain't just talking physically, but in thoughts.
Right.
You see? So I give honors to all of y'all sisters and brothers that I have just met, and the Zoom thing I tried, it doesn't fit me, I'm ancient. So it doesn't fit me, and then because I like to interact personally, up close, because that's how the spirit moves. You know, up close, personal, even though salvation is personal. You know, because there's no compulsion in Islam. You can't compel nobody to do anything. Islam, that's the difference. And Islam is the only religion that embraces all the prophet known and unknown. See, even though they say Islam means peace, a lot of times it is misunderstood what peace is. Peace is the reconciliation of the heavens and the earth. And being that you are the line that unites divinity and matter, you are trying to find peace within yourself. And that is a struggle. Because the rose, in order for the rose, as much as your women love it, because that's a deeper appreciation, as you see it, it has thorns on it, and the thorns is symbolic to the suffering. So we must suffer before we can truly get to the essence of love. So it's work enough for all us to do, isn't that right? As is the custom, I will have a matter of fact, let me give an honors to our Grand Sheik. We haven't talked, you know, because things manifest itself. You know, I haven't met my newest son. All right, I say this queen briefly, and just to show you how Allah works. See, because there's a misunderstanding between the relationship in man and woman. Man is not greater than woman, and woman is not greater than man. They are equal and balanced in life. You understand? One without the other is but half. It may appear that man looks like he's stronger than woman. And one of the books that talk about man word is great and powerful today, but women teach best. Who is leading the charge today? Woman. That's why the prophet said, have a deeper appreciation for womanhood. But at some fact, some of the women lose track too, because the very thing that they condemn about man, they become. So it's everybody susceptible to this. That's why you got a lower self and a higher self. You see? And we all working out our life, son. After the custom, I'm gonna have a reading with my niece reading from what's that chapter 2 you was in?
Chapter 2.
Yeah, that was a very good chapter, as all the chapters are. I'm gonna have a reading from chapter 2, the education of Mary and Elizabeth in Zone E, because that education is important, as the sister was talking about, raising the children. See, because the word education is coming from the Latin word educo, and it means to draw out or to bring forth. What is you trying to draw out and bring forth out of your kids while they are in their innocence? The best of what Allah is. See, because the Holy One cannot be seen by mortal eyes, nor man can see the spirit of Allah. So the sister, I'm going to read something on page 6. Man, let me just say something. You know, you see, I love the thing. You know, you don't know me, but I know it, and it knows me. Go ill. You know what I mean? So you can feel my vibration. You understand what I'm saying?
That's right.
My vibration is always high.
That's right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'm a part of the Moorish Science Temple, where it's not what the temple can do for me, it's what I can do for it. See, because I work in public and in private. So if you're helping a lonely soul on the corner, you're working in the name of the prophets. If you tell the truth to somebody, you're working in the name of the prophets. And if you fail, you only fail because you fell to your own lower self. This evil is but a myth, clothed with a shadow of a thought. Thought is the cause of all. Moorish Science Temple is a train coming from the everlasting of the past to the never-ending days to come. But it's also a hospital. It is a hospital to heal the sickness, because we are still sick, regardless how you want to see it, how much I can quote these lessons, how much work I may put in. There's still a mental sickness going on.
That's right. That's right.
And he's telling you that. And you can't forget that. It is also a spiritual hospital. And they want to prove that it's such a spiritual. They got CEOs getting millions and billions of dollars, and the next thing they want to give it all away to find God. Huh? Everybody wants to find God in the end. He said at the end of time, every knee will bow to Islam. You see? So man, I'm not here to ever judge people, but I'm here for us to get a greater understanding with each other, because a lot of people really don't understand more science besides the quoting part. You see, because the connection that binds us to love and unity is beyond a physical scene thing. See, let me read something to you. On page 6. Yeah, I like that instruction thing. You know, I'm anxious. I love that when they say instructions. That's say Lord. And I'm trying to get that in my downplay. But I'm going to read first 15, sister, from page 6. A mighty work is theirs. For carnal men want not the light, they love the dark. When the light shines in the dark, they comprehend it not. We call these sons the revealer of the light, but they must have the light before they can reveal the light. What is this light? Is it the moonlight? Is it the sunlight? Is it infrared light? Or is it violet light? What is, because you hear the prophet use the word light. A lot of people misunderstand what light is. Some think light is the spirit itself, but light is what the spirit travels through, movement and heat. That's why he said the holy breath cannot be seen of mortal eye, nor can the spirit be seen of Allah. So, but you can see light. Can you actually comprehend Allah? Listen what I'm telling you about this light. See, because this light is unlike any light that you would really understand it to be, because you are strangely mixed with darkness and light. Some think the darkness is evil. It is a myth. The lowest hope is not evil. Is the ground evil when you plant your seeds in the soil so that it may germinate and grow in the darkness? See, because there's 360 degrees of light and there's 360 degrees of darkness. See, because the circumstances that blocks us in our daily lives only appear to do so due to the false assumptions that we carry with us. Now take these same false assumptions and frame it with truth. What is truth? Truth is all. What is all? All is a law. If you frame it with the gospel, he says, speak my words, you cannot go wrong. You will see magnificence unfold before thee. It will display itself. But when you get caught up about who know this and who know that, or there's everybody got some talent. Everybody. Some people just like to block each other. And so that's the biggest thing about Asiatics. They love to block each other, didn't say I love you. Absurd.
Come on.
You don't want to see the elevation of your brother and sister. You don't want to pick up the call when you should pick up the call. You say, I'm doing something. And you know you wasn't doing nothing. How dare you? You're not lying to me, you lied to Allah. Coil. The games that I have played. In the darkness. See? Being that it's 360 degrees of light and 360, they both strive inside. We each choose the matter of man or woman, or we ought to become in life. That's why the children are so important, because they come with an innocence. You didn't give them the innocence, Allah did.
That's right.
That's why they say, oh, you got a big head, over here. You're right. They just talk plainly, with no hesitation, no hold, until they talk the biasness and the prejudice of this life. You understand? That's why you speak with discretion. You must teach them the disciplines. And that's why when I hear the sister, I loved it, to raise the children in such a way according to the prophet. Not according to you, but what the prophet said. Because he know what you know not. But yet, y'all know the same thing if you but know it. Because, like I said, you in the creation and the fall of man. You are the spirit woman. So the only thing that's separate between you and man is the gender on this physical plane. But in yonder kingdom, this carnal evolution is not even known. And see, and when we're talking, he talks about the rainbow of time. The rainbow in its own essence is a symbol, a symbolic or symbol to the shades of man's thoughts. The more darker the color is, the more mundane and carnal, more lighted of it is, the more abstract it becomes, where you can't really understand and see it with color. That's why you say, man, what do white people see in the paintings talking about many paying $5 million for what? You see that like they just do some paint against the wall and talking about sell it. Yeah, but they see a beauty in it that you can't see. Is it who's to say it ain't a beauty in it? Being that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. Huh? So you got some want to pay to behold. You hear me? Yeah. So, but, you know, so in this thing right here, being when I said it's a hospital, y'all sheiks and ministers, y'all doctors, but y'all also patients too. We see, because don't the psych got to go see another psych when they get in trouble? Don't another doctor got to see another doctor when they get in trouble? When do you begin to see each other for the ministry of truth? When, okay, I'm sorry, sister, you know I'm thirsty. I'm sorry, I get carried away. You know, you gotta stop for me. You understand? But the thing is made to help each other. But some brothers and sisters don't want the help, they'll reject it. Then that's between you and Allah. But you must offer the help or advice. So this way you are absolved of not trying to assist your sister and brother. Okay, Islam, thank you.
Islam. I can't see Allah, but I feel him in my bones. Oh, I feel him in my bones. Oh, I feel him in my bones. Oh, I can't see Allah, but I feel him in my bones. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up, fire stirred up. Oh, in my bones, in my bones. Where's the nearest place to meet him? We meet them all in our hearts. Oh, we meet them all in our hearts. Oh, we meet them all in our hearts. Where's the nearest place to meet them? We meet them all in our hearts. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up, fire stirred up, all in my bones, in my bones.
Islam.
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 That's that fire right
Praise
there.
Allah, praise
A
Allah,
little bit
praise
of
Allah.
fire for the Moors.
Right, we in a
Praise
sacred
Allah.
grove, setting this
Fire
taking
and
on fire with
brimstone.
love and holy zeal. Praise
Woo.
Allah. I want to thank our brother,
Praise Allah.
I'm used to calling him Unc.
Mm.
Brother Brother Seco Hill, he took a read from Education of Mary and Elizabeth and Zoe in Egypt, instruction 15. I want to thank you for your words and your read, dear brother. You always raise us
Thank you,
high.
brother.
I want to speak to something you said. You spoke about truth. And I came across this little T, you know how they have the little writings on the T, with the little messages. And it says something about having the courage to stand out on truth, even on his own, by yourself. Everybody ain't gonna always roll with you.
That's right.
And Sister Berry Bay has that courage.
That's right.
It don't matter how it looked to somebody.
That's right.
I know that Allah is looking over
That's
all of
right.
us.
That's right.
And so I
That's
always
good.
choose the right thing because my moral compass has to always be intact.
That's right.
If you a leader,
That's right. That's
if you
right.
call yourself raising children and a family, truth is having courage. Everybody don't have the courage.
That's right.
And no judgment, no blame.
That's
That ain't what
right.
I'm here for. That ain't what we are here for, to judge each other. But you know it takes courage. And as you said, it ain't easy to look into your own faults.
That's right.
So praise Allah for your words and deeds. I'll now call on the next speaker of the evening, Brother El Serrano Zaid, after song.
Who is noble to Ali? He's a prophet of Allah. He's a prophet of Allah. He's a prophet of Allah. Who is noble to Ali? He's a prophet of Allah. Feels like fire stirred up. Fire stirred up. Fire stirred up all in my bones, in my bones. What's your nationality? It is Moorish American, the same as Noble Drew Ali, the same as Noble Drew Ali. What's your nationality? It is Moorish American, the same as Noble Drew Ali. The same as Noble True Ali, feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up, fire stirred up, all in my bones, in my bones. When you meet a group of Moors, raise your right hand, say Islam. Raise your right hand, say Islam, Islam. Raise your right hand, say Islam, Islam. When you meet a group of Moors, raise your right hand, say Islam. Feels like fire stirred up, fire stirred up, fire stirred up, all in my bones.
Islam.
Islam.
Islam. First I rise and I give all praise to the great God Allah. I give honors to his holy and divine prophet. I give honors to the forerunner to the prophet, Brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I give honors to our past Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators of the Moorish Science Temple of America, Brother C. Kirkman Bey, Brother F. Nelson Bey, and Brother J. Blakely Bey. I give honors to our former Grand Sheikh, Brother Oliver, and our present Grand Sheikh, Brother R. Jones Bey, and his assistant, Brother P. J. Seal. I give honors to our chairman, Sister S. Russell Bey, and her assistant, Brother V. Bell Bey. I give honors to the Grand Governor of the State of New York, Brother C. Herb Bey, his assistant, Brother K. Richardson L., our Grand Sheikh at Temple number 34, Brother Y. Cyrus Hill. I extend those honors to his assistant, Brother W. Clendenin Bey. I give honors to our chairman, Brother C. Ferguson L., his assistant, Sister L. Barry Bey. I give honors, who is also our secretary. I give honors to the treasurer, Brother T. Barry Bey, his assistant, Sister B. Reeves Bey, and also Sister C. Silza, who's our assistant treasurer, and Sheikess and Divine Minister at Temple number 34. I give honors to all of our officers, sheiks, members, non-members, visitors, foreign sympathizers. And I give honors to man, because when man honors man, he honors his Father God, Allah. Praise Allah. There are no strange happenings, law governs all events. It's very interesting because when Sister Barry Bay called on me, I actually didn't hear it. It broke up on my end, so I didn't know that she actually called on me. I had to go with spirit, and I assume I made the right choice.
Yes, you did. Praise Allah.
So praise Allah. I also want to give high honors to our brother C. Colil, and all the other speakers that spoke before me. The brother's demonstrations.
It never changed.
He always does such a great job.
Thank you. Praise Allah.
And
Have all
I just
tonight.
want to give honors to my brother. And my brother's looking healthy. I want to say praise Allah for that. You know, and just thinking about some of the things that I've been thinking about as of lately. I've been thinking a lot about health, right? You know, the prophet teaches us that health is to the body, even as honesty is to the soul, right? You know, so the outside reflects the inside. And I always constantly try to keep reminding myself that part of it. And I thought about one of the instructions that the prophet teaches us, which is thought must be developed by the exercise of strength, right? So the prophet is teaching us, right, during the creation and fall of man, that without a foe, a soldier never knows his strength. And thought must be developed by the exercise of strength.
Wow.
Right? So I thought about that instruction, and then I thought about another instruction that men comprehend the inner life by what they see and do.
Mm-hmm.
They come to Allah through ceremonies and forms. So if the prophet makes this connection between a soldier exercising, right? Exercising his strength with the thought of man, exercising his strength that he may be Allah manifested in human flesh.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So how can we possess clean and pure thoughts while possessing unclean and unpure environment, or doing unclean and unpure things?
Right.
Right? So when Allah created man, when man fell is when the sluggish will came, right? So we already came here with a sluggish will.
Mm-hmm. Teach.
And I'm gonna be honest with all of my brothers and sisters. Brother El Serrano Bay is overweight, right? Mm-hmm. So within this a few years, Brother El Serrano Bay let himself go.
Mm-hmm.
But when you look at it from a divine perspective, when you look at it from a spiritual perspective, when you hear the term that somebody let themselves go, how can you let yourself go?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Right? So the prophet teaches us that man and Allah are one. But through carnal thoughts, words, and deeds, a man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself.
Mm-hmm.
So when the prophet says, and these soul attributes became a body beautiful, this is something that is physical.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There is a distinction between someone who is in shape as far as how we are treated in society versus someone who is out of shape, right, and how we are treated in society.
Good comparison.
Right? So we are what people consider attractive, right? When you're in shape, you are attractive, right? You are appealing to the eye, right? Majority of the time, right? So if you think about from a health perspective, if you see, I hear this comparison all the time. When doctors receive, the brother was just talking about doctors, right? And being patients, right? When doctors receive patients, if they deem this person to be attractive or this person to be fit, psychologically and subconsciously, they do everything that they can to help this person survive. Majority of the time, if you are overweight, they just write you off as being overweight and unhealthy. And that is the determining factor as to why you passed away. He had health complications. You know who told me that? Sister C. Silva told me that.
I bet you did. Straight
Right.
up.
But there's so much truth in that, because cleanliness is godliness. And it's not just about what we put in our minds, it's about what we put in our mouths, it's about what we put in our body. We have to exercise, right? Just with the way the prophet tells us to exercise the strength from thought, we have to exercise the muscle. Right? If man is made in the image and after the likeness of God Allah, then we got to do everything that we can do to preserve what Allah has given us to function on the plane of manifest, right? The prophet says it is thy duty to preserve it. You got to preserve your life. You have COVID, all of these different things going on, and what you don't want is to already have health issues prior to receiving something that your body is not going to be able to withstand. Right? So I hope I'm not offending anyone, because as I'm talking to my brothers and sisters, I'm speaking to myself.
That's a personal demonstration. Praise Allah.
Right? But, we got to get it together.
Right.
I give honors to my sister, Sister J. Jordan, who was also speaking about, she spoke about many things, but one of the things that really stuck out was modesty, dressing a certain way, conducting yourself a certain way, the proper way, righteousness. What does it mean to stand on your square? What does it mean to stand on a 90-degree angle? Right? We're speaking about being upright, being righteous, putting our thoughts in check, putting our actions in check. So if we already came to the manifest with a sluggish will, the prophet teaches us. I'm gonna just read from the Holy Quran of Moorish Science Temple of America, chapter 10.
Chapter 11.
I'm gonna read apart from chapter 10 and apart from chapter 11. Matter of fact, the Grand Sheikh, you are correct. You already know where I'm going.
My chapter for tonight, brothers and sisters. Long governs all events. Praise Allah.
Praise Allah. I'm going to read chapter 11, page 18, instruction 27 to 35. It says, in their native plains, all creatures are supplied with nourishment from the ethers of their plains. And so it was with every living thing until the will became a sluggish will. And then the ethers of the protoplast, the earth, the plant, the beast, the man began to vibrate very slow. The ethers became more dense, and all the creatures of these plains were clothed with coarser garbs of flesh, which men can see. And thus the coarser manifest, which men call physical, appeared. And this is what is called the fall of man. The man fell not alone, for protoplast and earth and plant and beast were all included in the fall. The angels and the cherubim fell not, their will were never strong, and so they held the ethers of their planes in harmony with Allah. Now when the ether reached the rate of atmosphere, and all the creatures of these planes must get their food from atmosphere, the conflict came. And then that which the finite man called survival of the best became a law. The stronger ate the bodies of the weaker manifest, and here is where the cardinal of evolution had its rise. And now man in his uttermost shamelessness strikes down and eats the beast. The beast consumes the plant thrives on the earth absorbs the protoplasm, and yonder kingdom of the soul, this carnal evolution, is not known. And the great work of the masterminds is to restore the heritage of man, to bring him back to his estate that he had lost when he again will live upon the ethers of their native plan. You know, and even just that, because I had thought about what I was going to demonstrate tonight. And it's just so interesting how everyone who spoke before me, everything is woven in and it ties in.
How deep is
And
that?
that part, it made me think about Brother C. Cola when he was speaking about being ministers and how what our duty is to minister and help those who are in need. And then when the minister needs help, he goes to the ministers to minister to him. And he made a great example about the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Because when a doctor is sick, he has to see a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
But
That's right.
in the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, it teaches us that Prophet Jesus pressed the hands and he disputed with the doctors of the law.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So in that sense, if you are a minister of the Moorish Science Temple of America, you should be a doctor of the law. Of what law? The Prophet's laws.
Right.
Right? The Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the Divine Constitution and bylaws, everything that the Prophet brought for us in regards to the uplifting of fallen humanity.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna just read one more instruction and then I'm gonna wrap it up. On chapter 10, page 16, it says, now men and birds and beasts, this is instruction 9. Now men and birds and beasts and creepy things are deities made flesh.
Wow.
And how dare you kill anything? It is cruelty that makes the world awry. When men have learned that when they harm a living thing, they harm themselves. They surely will not kill nor cause a thing that Allah has made to suffer pain. And it just keeps reminding me, when somebody lets themselves go, it could be from a health perspective, a physical, out of shape perspective. It could be a mental health perspective. It could be many different things, right? But when you let yourself go, the action of letting go oneself, it reminds me when the prophet says to hold on to the gospel plow, right? And if you let go, you was better off not grabbing it in the first place. And with that, I'll leave the Moors in peace. And I say happy holy day, and I hope everyone enjoys their holy day. Enjoy their weekend. Be safe. And may Allah continue to bless us all. Peace.
Lift him up, the prophet up. Lift him up, the prophet up. Till he speaks from eternity, eternity. And if I be lifted up from the earth, thou draw men unto me. Now the world is hungry for the living bread. Lift the prophet up for them to see, Trust in him and do not doubt the words that he said. I draw men. Lift him up, the prophet up. Lift him up, the prophet up. Till he speaks from eternity. And if I be lifted up from your throne unto me, how to reach the masses, men of every birth. For in answer to Ali gave a key, And if I be lifted up from the earth thou drawest unto.
Islam.
Islam.
Praise Allah. I'd like to thank our brother dear El Serrano Bey for his read. He read from chapter 11, Jesus and Barado. Together they read the sacred books, instruction 9 through 10. And he also read from chapter 10, Jesus spake on the unity of Allah, man, to the Hindus. And he read instructions 9. Am I right, brother Serrano? I believe so. Yes, 9 and 10. Praise Allah. And chapter 11 was 27 to 35. Thank you for your word and your reads, dear brother. I'll now call on our next speaker of the evening, Brother W. Clinton and Bay, the Assistant Grand Sheik of Temple No. 34. Peace.
There's a little wheel turning, little wheel turning, there's a little wheel turning in my heart, there's a little wheel turning, little wheel turning, there's a little wheel turning in my heart. Must be the love of Allah, must be the love of Allah, must be the love of Allah in my heart, oh yes, it must be the love of Allah, must be the love of Allah, must be the love of Allah in my heart. Oh, don't you doubt it, oh, don't you doubt it. Oh, don't you doubt it in your heart, oh Muslim. Oh, don't you doubt it. Oh, don't you doubt it. Oh, don't you doubt it in your heart. Islam, brother Nineveh.
Islam Grand Sheik, he is not currently on the line.
Oh, wow. Brother Nineveh down a lot. Okay, we'll go. Anybody heard from Brother Nineveh? Yeah, I didn't hear nothing.
Islam.
Islam.
Praise Allah. We're gonna send out a divine thought for our Assistant Grand Sheik. I'm pretty sure he, probably had some things that he had to catch up on. We'll now call on our next speaker of the evening, Brother Y. Cyrus Hill, after a song.
The prophet's calling. The prophet's calling. Oh, the prophet's calling. You can't hide. You can't hide, Muslims. You can't hide. The truth that come. The truth that come. Oh, the truth that come. You can't hide. You can't hide, Muslims. You can't hide. It's judgment day. It's judgment day. You can't hide. Oh, it's judgment day. You can't hide. You can't hide, Muslims. You can't hide. You turn your lights down low. You can't hide. Turn your lights down low. You can't hide. Turn your lights down low. You can't hide. You can't hide, Muslims. You can't hide. You can run to the rocks. You can't hide. You can run to the rocks. You can't hide. But when the rocks cry out, you can't hide. You can't hide, Muslims. You can't hide. The prophet's calling. The prophet's calling. You can't hide. Oh, the prophet's calling. You can't hide. You can't hide, Muslims. You can't hide. Islam, Moorish Americans. Islam. 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 First I rise and I give praises to our Father, God Allah, the author, the creator, and the governor of the world, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Brother Serrano Bey, you eat the jack my whole demonstration, but I like it because we can I want to lay that thought. My brother went right into chapter 10, where it said the universal law is, Jesus talked about the brotherhood of life. And he said, this universal law is one, yet he is more than one. All things are one. Sister Barry Bay read from chapter 2. We wove, the brother was right. This thought is always deep. I learned to just expect. Sister Jordanelle used the word. She said serendipity, Sister Jordanelle? Synchronicity. I was like, something like synchronicity. Look that word up. Things synchronize together every time we come in on a Friday, no matter what. The more do we send each other notes and say this is what we're gonna read from? We did it. We tried that for a couple months. I didn't like it in the fall. We don't. The Moors has come and they speak from their heart. They speak from the moment, and it crystallizes every time. Synchronicity. You know, brother Serrano Bay was thinking about that thought, the brotherhood of life. All things are bound in one. So when you touch the fiber of a living thing, you shake the throne of Allah and cause the sword of life to tremble in its sheath. The law, Sister Barry Bay said that the law and man are one. Mary and Elizabeth were told, teach them, teach your little ones. This lesson, the law and man are one, but through carnal thoughts, words, and deeds, man tore himself away from Allah and debased himself. And he continues to say, teach them that the holy breath will make them one again. Point to who was talking about the holy breath tonight. Who caught the thought? He didn't say the holy breath, he said light. The light, too fine for fleshy eyes to see. Brother Cole was talking about the holy breath. It's truth. You know, the truth will make them one again. The Prophet Noble Dwali said, he mended the broken wires and connected us back to our higher powers. That's unity, connecting us back to each other, connecting us back to the brotherhood of life. Brother B. Cyrus L. said, let the bond of affection, therefore, unite thee with thy brothers, right? So peace and happiness may dwell in thy father's house, right? He said, when you separate in the world, remember the relation that bindeth you to love and unity. So I want to speak to the system tonight, but one of the things about the system is that binding. Knowing how to bind, the ties that bind, tie the broken wires, use the prophet's instructions. Praise Allah, give high honors to the last prophet in these days, Prophet Noble Dwali, the founder of this Moorish Science Temple of America, who gave us the instructions in Acts 6, and I want to read it because I see our brothers that are and sisters that are maybe in their first, second, or third meeting. I know my brother is probably on his second or third meeting here at Temple 34. The Prophet Noble Dwali says in Acts 6, he says, with us, all members must proclaim their nationality. And we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, Black people, or Ethiopians, because these are names that are given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now. And all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live in the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Dwali, the prophet, to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwest and the southwestern shores of Africa. I wanted to read Act 4 too. It says we got to remember this, because we just had an authority day. We just took time off. We decided we were going to observe the 4th of July this year. Why? And a lot of the Moors are like, what? Do we observe these holidays? Yeah. We are Americans. We recognize it. We are family as Americans. We know this from the words of the prophet. The prophet said in Act 4, he said, all members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5, this organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Praise Allah. In 4-hour authority day, I wanted to read that part we went over on Sunday. The prophet says, so there's no mistaking, and the Moorish leaders' historical message to America. See, some people try to force the Moors to believe that the prophet was leading us in a way that he was not. You can't change. Truth don't change. And the prophet said, strictly preserve. I don't know who, I can't even remember who said, we got to strictly, Sister Berry Bay, we got to strictly preserve what the prophet gave us. Prophet was clear. He got his own words here. He said, since the work of the Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious, the organization has been legally changed to a religious corporation, and an affidavit to this effect has been properly filed. Where? In the Cook County Recorder's Office of Illinois. Prophet was following the laws that he was recognizing in the United States government, right? And that's what we have on the back of our questionnaire, our authority. That's what he filed on that date. You know, as we go over the stages, I say, praise Allah for the Prophet Noble Dwali giving us this Moorish Science Temple of America, giving us something for our family, something that we can be proud of. When a European or anyone else comes and they start talking about their nationality or their history, we can talk about that. We take it all the way back to the Garden of Eden. Praise Allah. I give honors to all of the divine prophets, Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, and Confucius. I give honors to the forerunner to the prophet, Brother Marcus Mosiah Garvey. I give honors to all national, state, and local officials of the Moorish Science Temple of America, past and present, giving honors to the first Supreme Grand Advisors and moderators. Something will go out, Sister Jordan?
They said they can't see you.
Oh, the camera went up. Did I turn it the wrong way? Let me see. Uh-oh, maybe something cut out. Should be on. We can see it on our end. We can see it on our end. Maybe Sister Harmony Bay, let me know if something else goes out. Just jump right in. I'm you know, no problem. Just jump right in and speak right up. We good, Sister Harmony Bay?
Yeah, everything looks good.
Praise Allah. Praise Allah. We give honors to Brother C. Kirkman Bay, Brother F. Nelson Bay, and Brother J. Blakely Bay. I give honors to the former Grand Chief, Brother All of Ill, 30 years and 30 years. Brother C. Kirkman Bay, 30 years. Brother All of Ill, 30 years. They didn't never let go of the gospel plow. I give honors to the present Grand Sheikh and moderator, Brother All Jones Bay. Giving honors to all honors. What part of honors is the bonds of affection? When you honor the temple, I honor my grand governor. Me and my brother Hurt Bay, that's a tough Moorish American. Somebody tried to call me out. Just recently because I don't know if y'all remember that Sunday school when we're talking about the authority of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Brother Cole, you were even on that call. Brother Hurt Bay came out and he's like, Moore, you don't got to go over all this stuff. That's too much information for the public. Maybe somebody might get offended. I was like, oh, he put me on the spot. And see, my ego could have said, Brother Hurt Bay, I'm instructing this class or whatever. I just want to continue going. What did Brother Cyrus do? I said, Islam. Okay, and I kept it moving. Why? Because not only do I honor the grand governor, I honor my brother. Me and brother Hurt Bay had some yelling matches before over that debate in Harlem. But he's the grand governor of the state of New York. So because I honor this movement, I honor my brother in the station. I give honors to all grand governors and their assistants, and I give honors to the grand governor here in the state of New York. I give honors to his assistant, Brother K. Richardson L. I give honors to the Grand Sheikh Emeritus, the former Grand Sheikh. I give honors to I give honors to our chairman, Brother C. Ferguson L. and to his assistant, Sister L. Berry Bay. I give honors to her assistant, Sister B. Reeves Bay. I give honors to my brother, the treasurer, Brother T. Berry Bay, and to his assistant, Sister C. Sales L. Me and Sister Sales L. Man, look at the bonding process. Let me not go there. Sister Sales L, man, that sister right there, I love her so much. And we battled for a long time. More so is battling for a while. I started to realize that sometimes because we call this the spaceship with the spool of superheroes. Sometimes in order to have a bonding process happen, sometimes we got to be like, look, some of the superheroes throw down together for a little bit. You're like, look, I Civil War, right? Iron Man is saying, look, we got to honor the government. And as Captain America said, oh, I'm not. And they had to strive a little bit. that foe, right? Without a foe, a soldier never knows his strengths. Most of the time, that foe ain't no other person. That's what I want to get into tonight. It's not no other person. The foe that we are fighting is our own. It's always, Brother Cole Ill said it, it's always our own misconception. It just manifests, or it might go into you. All of a sudden, I start looking at Brother Malik Francois, and I'm like, yo, you got a problem with me, I got a problem with you. In reality, that's something in your own mind went on him. It reflected back on you, and Allah put y'all into a situation. But if you do it, if you go about this the right way, one of the things I'm learning in the Moorish Science Temple of America, that you can create a bond out of the worst. For why is it finding means good? Me and Sister Shields there, I got deep for a while. I know I think she's definitely on the car. I saw her. My sister says she'll tell you we're doing secretary. It got deep, but I don't think I've ever had a friend, a sister, like the sister that I have, and Sister C Seals ill right now today. Praise Allah. But I'll give honors to my sister C Seals here. I'll give honors to all of the youth. I give honors to all of the prophets' literature, the charter, the flag, and everything that pertains to Islam. Looking at the time, got a little time. Sister Jordan, thank you so much. I wanted to first just express, try to express how powerful that was on Tuesday. To be able to experience bonding in that manner, to that degree. A day where the vibration got so high. I want to talk about vibration primarily tonight. The vibration got so high that while we were riding home, I was looking at brothers, weird stuff was happening. Not weird, the law, this is a crystal. The law always crystallizes and puts things the way that they should be. That synchronicity. We were doing a count on the bus. We diligence, we look, we gotta have, because that was a fight. We actually took a risk because the Delta variant was a frightening thing to be trying to head us off at the pass. So we were as diligent as we could be. We made a list of all the names and the temperatures. It had the contact person. It had a number. And we went through, when we got on the bus, we said, Sister Harmony wrote all the names down. We forgot to count. Whenever you go on a trip like this, you got to do a count, right? If you're professional, right? We did a count from the back of the bus, get to the middle of the bus. We got up to the front of the bus, 32, 31, 32, 33, 34 people on that bus. That was one of the confirmations. The energy was really weird. When we were riding back, I told Brother Serrano, I said, something just changed. Something changed. The vibration was so high. That was such a powerful thing. My highlights were the bonding of the children. I wanted that so badly for the youth. This to establish is something that we can do going forward, because you spend so much time coming into the meetings and they sit quietly, they listen. And once a year, they deserve something like that. So we worked, and I was really excited that we were able to pull that off. And like Sister Jordanelle said, that was really powerful to see. And that's a memory. We'll remember it, but when you're young like that and experience like that, they will never, that actually will affect them at a very deep level. I say, praise Allah. I was specifically inspired by Brother S. Alazar Ill sent his children, Sani and Akira, with their mother, Sister Anika. Sister Anika doesn't always commune with us. I know her very well. It's my buddy from college. And she's come to the temple several times, but Sister Anika came with Sani and Akira and was with us all day. And she began to bond. Did you see the bond that happened between her and Michaela? Because we were traveling in different groups or whatever. Michaela is interesting. She don't really open up to everybody. That was Michaela Serrano, and the two Michaelas bonding together, seeing them together. That was powerful. Anika and Michaela, and Sister Zarina. Sister Harmony Bay's daughter Zarina, who's always to me been very, very quiet, opened up. And that little sister is extremely special. And there was a lot of things that I didn't see in the youth until that day. I never see, it was a lot, but I just want to say these two things. I didn't know that Sister Zarina's personality was as nice as it was. So that was very, very powerful. And it was a fight, Moors. My thought is that we got the reward of experiencing that because it was a fight, because the timing constraints and the parks restrictions and the Delta variant, and a lot of Moors got taken out of commission because of things that were out of their control. And I was sitting there like, we were fighting whether we should even have the trip or not. And I wanted to give that special thanks to Sister Jordanelle, Sister Silzil, Sister Barry Bay, Sister Harmony Bay, Brother Serrano Bay, the Moors that made it, Brother Mondro L, Brother Oni Bay came through in the clutch. Brother Oni Bay got knocked out and wasn't able to make it, but he made it happen. Praise Allah. That was so powerful. I just had to speak to that and express it. The vibration. What we earned after the fight was an extremely high vibration. I always say that in any meeting of the Moorish Science Temple of America, we talk about the Adab chamber and what an Adab meeting is, and we are sheiks and we sit in the Adab chamber. You can get the same experience, a very similar experience as the Adab chamber when you're sitting in a room with any group of members, and all of the vibrations are on the same page. Everybody came in with, see, love is a powerful vibe. Remember, the highest vibration is love. When you look at the scale, you study the science, you look at the science of what you speak and how it affects the ethers around you. You are a man. Man is connected to the great God Allah. So when you speak, we affect the ethers with our words. Love is the highest vibration. When you come into the room together, you have a meeting and there's no low vibration to be detected anywhere in the room. There's something that happens. The ethers do something that's very powerful, and blessings start to pop up and come and attract toward that room at any time. It comes in the form of thoughts and knowledge and wisdom. It comes in the form of little blessings and big blessings. And that's what we experienced on that day. I want to take a reading. I'm going to take this brother read my exact same verses. I'm going to read it again. Chapter 11 was listen to this. The system that the Prophet Noble Duali gave us to become one with the great God Allah has multiple different ways that you can achieve it. The same way there's multiple different ways you can get in shape in the gym, or you can get in shape at work. There's multiple different ways you can become popular because somebody put a video of you on the screen, or you can go knock on every door in your neighborhood, or you can just have a store in your neighborhood and you became well known in that neighborhood. There's multiple different ways that you can achieve oneness with the great God Allah. One of the direct ways to do it is your vibrational rate. If you can somehow ensure for yourself that you are always vibrating on the highest level, you actually can make yourself one with Allah right there at that moment on the spot. And that's the same route, the course when I say keep Allah on your mind more. So when you pray, don't just when you get done with your prayer that you've done. No, when you go out and you're walking on the sidewalk, try to remember Allah because it raises your tone. It's the same thing. I'm going to read it was chapter 11, instruction numbers 28 through 35. Time check. We've been talking a little bit. Instruction number 26. I'm going to read 26 to 35. This is what the brother just read most of. Because all forms of life on every plane are thoughts of Allah, all creatures think. And every creature is possessed of will, and in its measure has the power to choose. And in their native planes, all creatures are supplied with nourishment from the ethers of their planes. And so it was with every living thing until the will became a sluggish will. And then the ethers of the protoplasm, the earth, the plant, the beast, the man began to vibrate very slow. The ethers became more dense. And all the creatures of these planes were clothed in coarser garbs of flesh, which men can see. And thus the coarser manifest, which we call physical, appeared. And this is what is called the fall of man. But man fell not alone, for protoplasm and earth and plant and beast were all included in the fall, because man is the Lord. Everything that was subject to us fell with us when we fell. The angels and the cherubim fell not. Their will was ever strong, and so they held the ethers of their planes in harmony with Allah. Now, when the ether reached the rate of atmosphere, and all the creatures of these planes must get their food from atmosphere, the conflict came. And then that was the finite man called survival of the best became a law. Wow. The stronger ate, the bodies of the weaker manifest. And here is where the carnal evolution had its rise. Right? Remember in chapter 1, nature sprang forth from fleshy things, right? Without a force, soldier never knows his strength, and thought must be developed by the exercise of strength. And so this carnal nature soon became a foe that man must fight, right? That he might be the strength of a law made manifest. This actually, when you read chapter 1 very carefully, you see that the lower self began to manifest into power before the higher self did. But in chapter 11, it kind of mirrors that thought. The carnal evolution had its rise, and now man in his utter shamelessness, back to 11, strikes down and eats the beast consumes the plant thrives on the earth absorbs the protoplasm. And this is the part I wanted to read. Instruction 35. In yonder kingdom, that's actually what Brother Cole touched on too. That's an important part. In yonder kingdom, this carnal evolution is not known, right? And the great work of masterminds is to restore the heritage of man and bring him back to his estate that he had lost when he again will live upon the ethers of his native plane. And I want to stop right there because you got to break that down more. I want to make sure that you're clear. This thought, the great work of masterminds is to restore the heritage that he had lost, right? You think about that verse, right? The great work of masterminds. You got to realize that what the mastermind is trying to do, the chapter just told you that the vibration fell. The mastermind has got to work to raise the vibration back up to where it came from, right? It sounds really simple, but that it says a mighty work is theirs, right? In the earlier chapter 2, the great work of mastermind. It's not easy work, it's great work, right? It might take a couple of lives. You should be able to do it in one life, right? And it has to do, when you think mastermind, it has to do with the mind, something about the mind of man, right? Thought is the cause of it all. And I'm going to break down the other half of that. It says, it's to restore the heritage of man and bring him back to his estate that he had lost, right? The great work of masterminds is to restore the heritage of man. What does it mean to restore the heritage of man? It goes back to the same thought in chapter 10, where it says that the brotherhood of life, all things are one. When Adam got kicked out of the garden, all things are no longer one. So the great work is to put things, connect the broken wires and bring us back to our higher powers, right? The great work of masterminds, right? And I'm going to share this thought that I first got from Brother Wayel, Brother E. Wayel, they call him Avalon. I had the same thought. He expressed the importance of it. That a lot of people confuse when it says to restore the heritage of man and bring him back to his estate that he had lost. Believe it or not, a lot of Moors confuse the estate as land, the mandate, the profit out of the land, or the buildings, the right of the government, or taking over property. But the estate that man lost was a state of mind. You know, it was a type of spirituality, right? When the soul wasn't deformed by vices, right? When man had a soul that was full of virtues and not full of vices, that's the state. That state of mind is a different vibrational rate. It's a different way of existing and seeing and living in life, right? To bring him back to the estate that he had lost. And in closing, and this is this is a thing that deals with self-refinement. And in closing, I wanted to just share this thought with the Moors as I'm going through. I don't know if I didn't look at my chart to see what the planets are doing, but I definitely sense that the ethers are very difficult right now. And the Moors are going through tests and we're passing. We have to face tests that we need to pass. And you are tested. It's very important that we pass our tests without descending, right, to evil or to meanness. When you're facing an adversary, right, when you're fighting, right, these are foes that man must fight. There's two ways that you can fight. You can fight in the earthly manner where you get low. You let your vibration go low and you go into rage, you go into anger, you go into hatred, slander, lewdness, theft, and everything that harms. Or there's another way where you can fight without dropping your vibration. And this is what we have to actually strive to understand. This is what it says in chapter 36. It says, nor dare descend to evil or to meanness. And the best example that I could give, and I'm going to close it right here after this because I believe my time is up, is when you look at the story of the prophet Jesus. Jesus was wrongly accused, arrested, beat, and tortured while he was in prison. And Jesus was standing for the truth the whole time. He was betrayed by the priest that was inside of his temple, right, in the trial. And when they took Jesus out, they beat him up, they stoned him, and then they put him up on the cross. What did somebody answer this? What did Jesus say when he was on the cross? Some of the last words that Jesus said, forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. He didn't go low, he didn't lose his composure. He actually still was powerful enough to give off love in that particular moment, in that situation. And that's very powerful. That's a lesson that we can draw from this as we go through this choppy ether. Islam? And with that, Moors, I'd like to thank everyone for your attention this evening. And I leave the Moors in peace. Peace. Wade in the water, mother. Wade in the water, mother. Wade away in the water, mother. You are in trouble, the water. Oh, who's that yonder old dressing white? You are in trouble, the water. It looks like the host of the Moabites. You are in trouble, the water. Sing it. Wade in the water, mama. Wade in the water, mama. Wade away in the water, mama. You are in trouble, the water. Oh, who's that yonder all dressed in green? You are in trouble, the water. It looks like the monster that you are redeemed. You are in trouble, the water. Sing it. Wade in the water, mama. Wade in the water, mama. Wade away in the water, mama. You are in trouble, the water. You are in trouble, the water. You are in trouble, the water.
Islam?
Islam.
Islam?
Islam.
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 I'd like to thank our Grand Sheikh Brother Wasai Sil. He took a read from chapter 11. Jesus and Barado reads from the sacred books. He also read from the Divine Constitution and Bylaws. And he also read from the Moorish literature and he quoted several instructions. I'd like to thank you, Grand Sheikh, for your lesson. Your demonstration for tonight. I now call on Brother Wasai Sil to read the one.
Islam Moors. January 15th, 1929. Prophet warns all Muslims, governors, ordered to read proclamation at each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must end all radical agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction. Stop flashing your cards at Europeans. It causes confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We are for love, truth, peace, and freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement will receive the reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Moors will and must obey the law as laid down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, button, cease wearing their turban or fez, and return to the state where I, the prophet, found you. This is a holy and divine movement founded by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah. to redeem his people from their sins by order of Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Peace.
Islam. As you can see, I'm multitasking, short staffed tonight. So I'll definitely call on our Grand Sheik to chair what I want to secretary. Peace.
While I was reading the Divine Constitution and Bylaws, I was realizing to myself, we left that other little box of t-shirts at the house. Right? Praise Allah. I meant to, I did not give honors, but I didn't want to put her on the spot too much. My wife, Sister T. Cyrus Hill, was in the building with us today. Praise Allah. Islam. Right? I was super excited, and then I left it out in my honors. My mom, I don't know what I'm. But Tony's no strangers to the temple. That's her spot. She's been in the temple for a long time. Remember Brother Cole, remember you. You know, praise Allah. So I wanted to say, honest, high honors to my lovely wife, Steve Cyrus Hill. Super exciting to see her with us. But yeah, we left the t-shirts. We had an additional set of t-shirts on the Sister Jordan, they'll make yourself comfortable. Says I would be, please help me out with that. I think it needs to be switched. I was going to say that so we'll bring we had a box of t-shirts that came late. That was deep down. We were down to the very last piece. We had a large group of Moors that came in on Tuesday. That it was about 12 Moors that came in out of nowhere. And they needed teas, and we gave all them teas, and here comes Sonny and Akira, here comes Brother Serrano, Basis Seals. I was like, oh no, we don't have no t-shirts left. And it was a small order that I added on, and it came late. It actually came yesterday. So I'll bring those on Sunday. I put them on the table. I'm gonna mail them to the Moors that didn't get them. Brother Serrano Bay needed an extra large. Brother Jordan L. The sister that came didn't get shirts. Whoever else didn't get a shirt, I'll bring those. I see my brother G. Barnaby Bay in the back. Islam. You came in the door for like an hour. I was looking. I'm like, that's not Brother Barnaby Bay. He looked like a brother that I was saying that you came in. You had a black shirt on. You put a shirt on. You look like somebody else. And I was like, is that my brother or not? Praise Allah. Very good to see you. Islam.
Yeah, but Islam, you have a hands up from Brother Cole.
Okay.
Brother Coleman. Yeah.
Praise Allah. You got the camera on so that everyone can see.
Do you want to see him? His hands up. He's the
Brother
only
Cole
one.
L.
Brother Coleman.
Coleman L. Islam, Brother Coleman L. I know he wanted to get into that chapter that we were on. Brother Coleman L.
Islam, I'm at work right now. I just want to say a few words. First I rise to give all praise to Allah. I honor the last prophet in these days, Prophet Jew Ali. I want to say happy holy day to the Moors. It was a lot of good stories, a lot of good demonstrations tonight. Praise Allah. The vibration is so mighty high. Praise Allah. I give honors to man. I give honors to woman because the man honors man. He honors his Father God Allah. Praise Allah. I just want to say one thing more before I go back to work. I just want to say anything you put into the universe, you will be tested. Anything put into the universe, you will be tested. So, you're on a mission to lift up fallen humanity, but it ain't easy. It's gonna take some time. We got to stay on that square, stay firm. I say peace, love to the Moors. Peace.
Peace. Thank you, Brother Coleman L. I see we have I think it might be a guest in the back. The brother, actually, the Moors let you keep your cap on. I don't know if that's Commander. Where's my phone at? Emmett, it's my brother's name. Islam, Brother Man, can you stand and introduce yourself? That's the brother from Commander Habal. Islam. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Good to see you too, brother. It's been a little while. Glad you were able to make it tonight. Islam. Anything you want to share with the Moors or
We have the gang summit on Sunday, and I'm having a few Moors come up just so they can be able to represent themselves, so the gangs can be able to maybe find out what the Moorish Science Temple is holy and divine movement is about.
Islam. Praise Allah.
We'll have a bunch of Nation of Islam, Bible Senate. I want to try to have a whole like a collage of brothers and sisters.
Yes, sir.
So change their directions,
Yes, sir. We get a chance to build afterwards. I know, yeah. Good to see you. I'm glad you were able to make it. Islam, Sister Jordan.
Sister Cecile has her hands up.
Islam, Sister Cecile. Islam, sis.
Islam.
Islam.
Happy Holy Day.
Happy Holy Day.
I just wanted to use this time to extend the Moors a happy Authority Day, even though they may not have been able to make it in person. I wanted to also send a special Islam to Sister T. Cyrus. It was so good to see you again. And to definitely hear and just have your energy around. It's always a beautiful, beautiful thing. Great job to you both as parents, especially with Brother B. Cyrus Hill. I just wanted to just make that comment. With Sister Harmony Day as well, I just wanted to say great job, sister, especially during the entire process with the helping and the planning. Sister Berry, I know that Sister Berry helped. I know that Sister Jordan helped. I know that when we got on that bus, the mother instincts just kicked in, right? And so like everyone was just like naturally in a certain gear. Things just naturally kind of just started to mesh in, right? The love that was there and expressed, here you go, including Michaela. The love that was there and expressed from all of the Moors was so beautiful. I thought it was beautiful. We had two Mayat at one time, like, you know what I'm saying? And there was a harmony with the youth, even with the adults. Like you said, the numbers, we had the brother Ali come on the bus. It's so funny to help us when it came time to parking, right?
All that, right?
We were in section 4, but there were 34 of us on the bus. 3 and 4 is 7, and the 4 gates, as I look at it, within the circle 7 symbol. So all the symbolism matched up to us. Upon entering the gate, we were met by Ali, and of course, just signs and symbols for the conscious mind. I know that brother wasn't our prophet in that concept, but just the signs and symbols. Also, I thought it was interesting because I remember I was having a discussion with other leaders in the organization, just other people in the movement. Nothing that the Moors couldn't be privy to, right? So there was a topic that said keeping your passions within the bounds of righteousness and why that was important. When a mom is extremely passionate and emotional, right? Let's say something terrible she may have thought something terrible happened to her child. It can cause her to be physically weak, to where she can literally buckle. Same thing for a father, a parent. I love anyone that has a certain level of love. Your feelings can cause your body to have different expressions and manifestations of different things.
Right.
And so when we were here and we were speaking about those things, that all starts with the thought. So we can even in ourselves prevent ourselves from bonding if we're not aware of the feelings.
Right.
Because we got to remember, dopamine is real, right? Endorphins are real, right? And when we're talking about exercise must be developed by strength, when you exercise, you release endorphins. Endorphins are directly known to block out the fear and certain negative feelings. It like numbs you to it. And so it allows you to perceive more positive. And so when we talk about those passions and those feelings, it's important. Even though we might be used to expressing ourselves a certain way, it does matter because there's a science to this. And, it more so about the pineal gland, the third eye, and all those things. When we think about what affects it, it goes right back to our thoughts and interactions with one another. Sister Jordan, to that thought, great thought, you and Brother Jordan, and I know you're together in that household and you all you come together to make the things work in the way that needs to happen. And I just want to, Islam?
Hold on, Sister Sylvia, 1 second. More sister is talking. We need to try to please. There's some little murmurs going around. Hey, sister. Can you say that last part again, Sister Sylvia?
I was saying for the Jordan Hill family, just on a whole, I know that you all come together to make things happen, and just as the demonstration with you yourselves and having the children, right? And what you put in the forefront, the concept of how you operate in your temple. It shows a certain light from the home. You get what I'm saying? So I think it's a beautiful thing because this is what we need, right? We need this as members. We need this as mothers. I have a 3-year-old. You all have children that are older. There are things that we're all bringing to the table. Even Sister Harmony, her daughter is older than my daughter. There are things and experiences that all of the Moors have to offer. Brother Cole, even in his experiences and his different experiences with the teaching, there are things that we have to realize and pull from one another and take these lessons. Why? Because they're here for us on a holy day for a reason.
Islam.
And so if nothing else, if we can just listen to the Allah that's there, because we came for a reason. We're here for a reason. We're not wasting our time. You're out here and you made it out here on a Friday. I'm proud of y'all. Because back in the day on a Friday, there was a lot of other things that the Moors could have been doing.
Right.
So y'all are definitely doing a beautiful, beautiful thing.
Islam.
Grand Sheik, thank you again. You definitely made that happen. I appreciate you all. Sister Tanya, thanks for bearing with us, because I know it takes a lot, right? Because we pull a lot of time, and the Grand Sheik puts a lot of time. So I appreciate your support and, you know, and help in all that you do, because it matters. And with that, I say peace and happy Holy Day, Moore.
Peace. Praise Allah. That's a whole lot, Sister Silzil. I'm going to play back because Sister Cyrus was stepping away just for a minute since she missed the first part of what you said was very beautiful. I'll play it back for her in the recording. I concur with the numbers. If you look on a picture of our bus, all the way down to the number of our bus, all of the numbers on the bus. We were on bus 2286. You do the math on that. Somebody tell me do the math. What the numbers does that add up to? And what does that number mean? 18, right? And then you add a 1 and an 8, and you get a 9. Right. We're riding on bus number 9 at the end of the day. And what you said about the Jordanaires is very powerful. You know, one of the lessons, like I talk about the structure of the lesson that overlaps the same way all the religious beliefs, the ones that we recognize, the prophets that we recognize, they all go toward the same thing. Most of them speak to the same prophets. Like Brother Coel, I think Brother Coel said that all of the prophets, you can tell in the Holy Quran, it recognizes the same prophets as the other texts, the Quran and the Torah. I mean, the Bible and the Torah. When governance, right? Governing is another way that you can, if you want to elevate, you got to learn to govern yourself. You got to learn how to govern your family. The Jordanaires govern their family. And governing your family is civics are involved. You can't be a good governor unless you know civics well. Once you can govern your family, you already understand civics at a certain level. You get into an organization, right? You get into the government. You know, it's the same basic principles. You know, the principles, and apply it. Make sure you're living to the principles. So praise Allah for that thought, Sister Silzil.
Islam.
Sister Jordan.
You have hands up, Brother Turnabay.
Brother Turnabay, Brother K Turnabay. Islam, beloved.
Islam.
Rise, giving praises to the great God of the universe, honors to the prophet, Noble Drew Ali. I give honors to the Grand Sheik of Temple 34 and everything the Grand Sheik gave honors to. I give honors to every speaker that spoke tonight. I give honors to all the guests and members. Because when man honors man, he honors his father God, Allah. I just wanted to read something from chapter 15 real quick.
Please do.
It says, and that's verse 28.
Mm-hmm.
And they will point the way and teach the gospel of the holy breath and the resurrection of the dead. That's the spirit that rose up in Temple 34 tonight.
You said chapter 15, brother. You said chapter 15, brother Turnabay. That was chapter 17 or 18, right? Was that 17? Or 19 that you read from? I think that was 17 you just read from.
17, yes. I'm pardon.
Yeah, you said 15.
Pardon the body.
What was that? 15 and what verse? We heard the reading. What verse was that?
28.
28. Islam.
28. Islam. I just wanted to say praise Allah. Islam.
Islam. Thank you for that, brother Turnabay. Praise Allah. And I got your text message too. I didn't get a chance to read it, but I wanted to say also, Moors, this is actually kind of an announcement. Something is going on with our Facebook page. It just dawned on me. This week or last week that something is off with our Facebook. You know how analytics work, where if you post a certain amount of time, analytics means where you populate, where you can appear more or you appear less when somebody does a Google search. Now on Facebook, they have this thing where people can see your post or they can't see your post, depending on how much you interact. Our Temple page, we always post. If I'm not mistaken, we've been consistently posting. Something happened with our ability for our post to be viewed. it decreased tremendously. And I checked everything. It's nothing that's on our settings. So I'm gonna ask the Moors that to go to the page and then like, comment if you can, to try to see if you can try to revive it. I don't know if we had somehow got, because Facebook has the ability to go to certain people. They got this thing now where you're posting about politics or you're posting about the coronavirus. They don't like it. They just turn your volume down.
So the director's missing. Graphic artist and director of Facebook had a scram. So
I need to talk to you actually, because I know you probably might understand what's going on. But I would ask the Moors just for the time being, go to the Facebook page and I kind of discover some of the stuff that's going on there. If you're up to sharing or liking or whatever, do what you can to see if you can revive it, or else we're gonna have to switch that page off. It somehow got it got I think we got what's the word that I'm looking for? We got
I'm not sure what's going on.
yeah, we got basically targeted, I think, by Facebook, and they got our volume down way low. So I just want to add that in as well. Any other hands?
Yes, we have Sister Harmony Bay has her hand up.
Islam, Sister Harmony Bay.
Islam Grand Sheik. I'm going to do praise and honors with Z because she would like to do it together. And then she wanted to share a message with you quickly.
Who was that, Sister Harmony? Sister Zarina, Islam,
Islam Grand Sheik. So we're going to say it together. We're going to do praise and honors together. So I give praise to Allah.
I give praise to Allah.
High honors to his prophet.
High honors to his prophet.
Noble Jew Ali.
Noble Jew Ali.
And everything pertaining to Islam.
And everything pertaining to Islam.
Peace. All right, and she wanted to say something to you, Grand Sheik.
I would just like to say thank you to the Grand Sheik for inviting me to the event, and thank you for making sure that we all had a good time and everything. And everything that we needed, if like we needed something. And I also want to say like thank you to Sister Seal for and Jordan Eel for going on rides with us and like making sure that we all had fun and had safe. And I just wanted to say thank you for allowing us and then celebrating that day that we had.
Praise Allah. Now Z. Now you can no longer pretend that you are shy or anything at anywhere at all, because one thing we all learned on this trip, you are not shy or bit. Not one bit. So you're gonna have to don't ever come around here acting like that no more. I think the personality is so beautiful and you. I wanted to quickly highlight. I was talking earlier. Like Sister Silsville, Sister Zarina Bond, Sister Silsville was jumping on the rides. She tightened up her turban, she took her bags off, and Brother Samano Bay took little Michaela, and Sister Silsville was on every ride that she could get on. I was like, this sister is deep. But when she got on the Joker's arena, I thought it was really powerful. I have photographs of it. When Sister Silver got on the Joker's, this ride is like a cart that flips you up and around while it's taking you on like a coaster ride. And there were like people going down the roller coaster on their heads, basically, because this chair was flipping over while it was rolling. Zarina rode it and Sister Silver rode it. Sister Zarina got off first. And when Sister Silver was getting off, Sister Zarina, and it was both Ma'ats, Sister Zarina and the other Ma'at, they ran up on Sister Silver's cart to greet her when the ride stopped. And that to me was like very, like, it was very powerful. So I'm glad that you had it.
Islam. So we just wanted to extend that and honors to everyone who went on the trip. Happy Authority Day to those who were not able to make a belated Authority Day, but it was amazing. I highly recommend everyone attend who can next year. We definitely want to make this something annual. And as a parent, I just want to say that it was such a beautiful demonstration to see the children being proud to be Moorish, being Moorish American, that it meant something to them, that we were somewhat different, although we are in a greater context, all one big family, but they finally saw themselves as being special. And that is what I wanted, because Allah sees them as special and we honor them and see them as special, but we want to be able to teach them why they're special, what is so special about them. They
Right.
have this knowledge of themselves so early. Like I heard Sister Jordan saying earlier, like a lot of us we were not raised with that demonstration, but to be able to raise our children, you know, from their childhood, knowing that they're Moorish American, feeling proud, knowing what Authority Day means, knowing their holidays, you know, wearing their turbans and fezzes and coming together as a family. You know, we could have been doing other things on a Tuesday of all days of the week, but we all made the commitment. We were dedicated to see it through. We had a wonderful time. I mean, I'm still just on a high, spiritual high, and just so proud. Every time I go through the photos, like Grand Sheik said, it's something we're never gonna forget, but for sure the youth will never forget. This is cemented in, and I think they're gonna put pressure on us to make sure that it happens and even more things happen. Again, just so that they can begin to feel like they are part and partial, but to this temple and to this family first. They have to feel that, and I think we absolutely were successful. So again, thank you. Honors to Temple 34, to the all of our family, but high honors to you, Grand Sheik. Amazing leadership, the way that you carried it out. Now we're gonna have to create a meme. No man left behind. That's our Grand Sheik right there,
Boy,
making
that
sure
story.
that we are all accounted for. And I heard Zarina is telling one of her friends, my Grand Sheik is cool.
Yes.
Cool Grand Sheik.
Yeah, Sister Dorita is you know, yeah, that was really powerful. That story at the end, running around trying to make sure all the Moors are on the bus, that was another one. We'll save that for the next time. I'm glad everyone had a nice time. Like Sister Harmony Bay said, we are definitely looking to do that next year. We want to try to add on and make it a little bit better. Like my parents do like vacations, they like amusement park trips, they like to do cookouts in a massive way. And I noticed my mother was masterful at fine tuning over the years. They would fine tune it. They would make you look like an amateur trying to, you know, do something for the first time. We did that for the first time, and the sisters, we, you know, are busy at looking at ways that we can kind of dial it in even further and make it even nicer. We'll save all of that for to announce it another time. But praise Allah, Sister Jordan.
You have a hands up by Sister Cecile's ill, and I see Brother Ferguson ill on the.
Yes, Brother Ferguson, he's had his hand up as
He's
well?
not up. I'm just acknowledging that he was on the call. But Sister Seals ill has her hands up.
I'm gonna go to Sister Seals. Brother Ferguson had a dentist appointment this morning. That was the reason, too. So he's probably still in a little bit pain or maybe numbed up. Sister Sheikis.
Islam, our AGS sent that I'm sorry, he wanted to say that he was at his sister-in-law's birthday celebration. So his reception wasn't that good. I think he got bounced out a couple of times.
Okay.
But I just wanted to say for Zarina, you're amazing. You were inclusive from the first day that I met you. You made me feel welcomed. You were all, you know, I had come in and you offered me a seat. You moved over, you pulled in a seat. You were all, from the moment that I met you, you were amazing. So thank you for even just, you know, acknowledging and communicating in a certain manner, because that's such a great thing for others to hear and feel, the sincerity, the love. And I'm so happy you enjoyed yourself. You're amazing. You're a rock star, had fun. And I'm sending you a big hug. Peace.
And Islam. So, yeah, Zarina actually has one of the things, she got an extremely talented sense of humor. This little sister is hilarious. And I'm a connoisseur of comedy. You know, I got certain comedians and other people who just can't get me to laugh. But Zarina is so funny that when she was talking, she wasn't making jokes even. She came with 2 or 3 jokes, and I was like laughing out of control. And then she's coming and she's trying to ask me something serious, but the way she was talking, I kept laughing again, like, this little girl is hilarious. And the same way that we know that Brandon, I learned recently that Brandon is a brilliant artist.
Oh, he's been drawing pictures.
He's an extreme, I'm an artist, right? So, I mean, you got somebody who can draw, because Malik is an artist. When you get a chance, Malik, check out this young brother's ability. The brother is an enigma. I got pulled out of 2nd grade, but I saw a brother did a drawing a couple of years ago. I saw when he had a superhero in a 3/4 pose is, right? He had a superhero in a 3/4 pose in a Tyrannosaurus skull with the mouth open in a 3/4 pose, and had nailed it perfect. He's like, Brandon, how old are you? And he's 9 years old. And I was going to say something else about some of the other children, but I just wanted to add the sister's sense of humor. Michaela is another one. Michaela Serrano is hilarious. I want to call the youth up, but I want to see if we have any other hands. You know, y'all gonna get put on the spot if y'all since you're here. But I'm gonna see any other hands. Okay. And Keenan, you will get a chance to come up. We want to see if we can. Brandon, James, and Michaela, just for a second, just for old time's sake. And Keenan, we want to get you to come up. We're gonna show Keenan how we do this question and answer. A couple real quick, a flash session of question and answer. Come on, Michaela. Come up. You know, you can stand, space out, but don't trip over the wire. Maybe you stand like close to the wire, but don't go past it. Okay, you come on this side. Michaela over here. You're gonna hit that wire. Move on this side. Brandon and Keenan. Come on, Keenan. And so we're gonna ask this one quick question because it's late. It's on Friday. We usually do this for Sunday school, but I want to make sure the Moors. Wow! Whoa! Wow. You gotta show that to the camera. Look what the young brother sketched out while he was standing there. You see? That's too funny. You see?
Hold it up. Let us see.
Very nice. Wow. American flag.
Islam. Wow.
He grew from the side.
Praise Allah.
With the American flag. Can y'all see that? Like, yeah.
Wow. Praise Allah. Yes.
Praise Allah.
So talented.
You got another one?
Huh? Yeah.
You see Brother Cole?
Man, look, I want to keep this for myself now.
Put it in the camera so the Moors can see.
Islam, this is for me though.
That's very nice.
A little over.
Truly a gift. That was truly a gift.
Islam. Wow. Oh my goodness.
Wait. The deep part is, you see how he got us? You see how we captured him? He got you spitting fire. He got your mouth open.
They're showing me what his gift is.
Yeah,
brother talented.
Brother very talented. Keenan, where's your mask? Where's your mask on? Michaela, where's your mask at?
Michaela?
Michaela, where's your mask? Whoop, you okay? We do that all the time. Them tables are tricky. Yeah, because they're clear. Michaela, you got a mask? Islam Moorish. Use the tools. Islam Moorish. So I'm going to do one question. Once McKay gets her mask on, Jeff, you're going to come right here and watch this quiet. And then Brandon. Okay. And then Keenan. Okay, so James is first because James got the whole fidget.
James, watch the wire.
No, give it to your brother.
James, watch the wire.
Step out of the wire. Then knock the camera over. Okay, so James is first. Okay. Now give me, James, one name of one continent. I'm there. One name of one continent. Okay, you better pay attention. If you give up, you tell me you give up, and next you're gonna remember the next time you're gonna go back over them. You forgot the continents, you gotta remember them. Which one are we on right here? What do they call this one? North America. There you go. Good. All right, that's done. Brandon, how many continents are there? 7. Very good. Michaela, here goes a real. Then I gotta give you a tough question. Look how she's looking at me. Name one planet. Any planet. Mercury, you said? Very good. Very good. And Keenan, who made you? Allah. Good. Everybody got it today, actually. Very good. Thank you so much. Have a seat. Take a bow and have a seat.
Islam. Praise Allah. Good job, you guys.
Good job. So proud of you.
Boys, be ready. Zarina, who else? Maybe, we ain't too old. Zarina, Blaze, you finally got retired. Blaze is, how old are you this year, Blaze? 20?
It's long.
20 years old. Take a break. Praise the Lord. More. Any one announcement? And then we're gonna go to the secretary. Tomorrow, Temple 21 is having a fundraiser in Long Island, I believe is where it's going to be. At the Brother In Rebels base home. What I'll do is I'll post a flyer into. Did you get a copy of that flyer from Sister? I'm actually going to text message it to the Moors on a thread. I'm going to send it in our Facebook thread. Yes. If you can't text it to the thread or just text it to me and I'll pop it in that thread. Also, Moors, remember this week you want to put your donation in the mail for Brother Eric Adams. We failed to send the address because of the kind of a little bit of chaos preparing for the trip on Tuesday. I'll make sure. I meant to send that last night. I failed to do it again last night. To send the address, mailing address, or the online link that you can send a small dollar donation for Eric Adams' campaign. And just remember to put temple number 34 somewhere. See if you can find a place that you can put temple number 34. If you mail it in, you could actually write it on your check or money order or whatever you say. But if you do it online, it's actually a little harder. They don't give a space for it. But we want to get our donations in from this week in a cluster. Any other announcements? So on August, Sunday the 1st, we're going to have our charter day. I think Sunday is the 1st. Yeah, Sunday, August 1st, we're going to have our annual National Charter Day celebration for Temple number 34 here at Temple 34. I'm going to post a flyer and invite some of the Moors from the other temples and see what kind of turnout that we get. But because we're still in the social distancing mode, like last year, we might end up doing something smaller as a group, but we're going to have food. It'll be a special program. We'll be, hopefully the Moors are able to make it out and be a part of that. So Sunday, August 1st, mark your calendar. Any other announcements? Islam. And with that, I'm going to turn your attention to our secretary, Sister Elberry Bay, so she can read the next report.
Islam. The Moorish Science Temple No, Temple number 34, finance received July 23rd, 2021. Monthly dues $1, capital tax $6, public collection $21, Moorish remedies $20, literature and supplies $90, emergency fund $3, uplifting fund $23, national building fund $8, travel fund $13, local building fund $13, attendance is 28, grand total of $190,000.
Islam Moors, you heard the reading of the financial report, Mr. Will and Pleasure of the Moors. Islam, Brother G. Barnaby Bay. Islam. Peace. Financial report accepted. Islam. Praise Allah. Can I get a second? Islam, Brother Coleman, Brother J. Peters, I'm about to call you Brother Coleman. Two Jameses, excuse me. Islam. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. Was moved by Brother G. Barnaby Bay and seconded by Brother J. Peters Hill that the financial report be accepted with the necessary corrections if there be any. You heard the motion. Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of this motion, please show by the Moorish way of saying Islam. All opposed, any opposed, same sign. Praise Allah. I'm going to ask the secretary to note that the motion was carried. Praise Allah. Praise Allah. with that more, I think it got a little bit late, so I'm not gonna hold everyone up. I see sleepy children, and I know I'm gonna ask that the Moors or travel safely back to your homes. May Allah be with us as we travel, and hopefully, inshallah, we'll see the Moors again on Sunday. We'll be here for 2 o'clock for our Sunday school service. Islam? Everyone all right? Praise Allah. Praise Allah. The chairman is going to close out with that careful.
Islam.
Islam.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
Allah, the Father of the universe.
The Father of love.
Father of love.
Truth.
Truth.
Peace.
Peace.
Freedom.
Freedom.
And justice.
And justice.
Allah is my protector.
Allah is my protector.
My guide.
My guide.
And my salvation.
And my salvation.
By night.
By night.
And by day.
And by day.
With Holy Prophet.
With Holy Prophet.
Duali.
Duali.
Amen.
Amen.
Peace.
Yeah.